So, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. As you can as you can see, we are two. Uno does. I was going to say twice, but that's three. So, let's get into that to start off with, shall we? So we've had some creative difference. Let's put it that way. So for the time being, Phil has left us, leaving me and Mike to carry on where we started and push on to just bigger and better things and ideas and videos for you all to enjoy, hopefully. We have got some videos out already this week that have gone down reasonably well.
For us.
Well, for us, yeah. Mike's obviously pre-match prediction for Arsenal was good. Enjoyed that. Did you get many of them right? Did you get your match prediction right, or?
I got the score correct. I did think we were going to lose 2-1. In terms of the squad, I was quite surprised to see Willian in the squad.
Yep.
So I did have Reece Nelson out on the right, Saka out on the left, which I think I was kind of like 90% correct. But I did have David Luiz in. I had Rob Holding in centre back, and also I left Willian on the bench, and they were the only members of the team who started.
Yeah.
Who I said didn't start. So I had Reece Nelson starting, and also Rob Holding starting. But Willian got subbed off. Reece Nelson come on, and obviously we know with the David Luiz Raul Jimenez incident, both players had to come off the pitch. But Rob Holding come on. So yeah, it was pretty spot on. I'm good at this, manager luck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you might as well call me David Moyes, because I got 100% as starting lineup this week, as I have done a couple of times. The bench didn't work out because Haller's on the bench, from what I understand. I just left him out of the squad completely because I don't rate him at all. He's rubbish, if I'm honest. Okay, so Football Paul, you've been watching a few of our videos. You said hello.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
You've left us some constructive feedback, which we are taking on board. Yes, just said, and not overly nice, but good. He was shit anyway. So what I would say is, are you subscribed? If that's what you're thinking, are you subscribed? Because if you're not, you need to be if you enjoy our content. And yeah, so are you subscribed? That's my question to you. West Ham are just walking out onto the pitch. Bubbles are blowing everywhere, which is good. We've got fans coming back into stadiums shortly. You all sorted? Good. So yeah, sorry, they're the usage of bits we cut out, but we're live, so that's not going to happen. Yeah, so a good West Ham team coming out. Although they will do, I'm assuming, just a minute of a moment's silence for the respect of a former West Ham player in Papa Boupa Diop, and also the passing of Diego Maradona. Most teams have this weekend. So shall we run down the West Ham team?
Yes.
Lucas Fabianski in goal. Playing with a back five of Fabian Balbuena, Ogbonna and Cresswell in the middle. Masuaku and Kufau on left and right. Declan Rice, Thomas Soucek in the middle. Then Pablo Fornals, Jared Bowen and Michael Antonio up top. That is where we're at. So that is very good. And it's a team that hasn't really let us down. Ben Rama's on the bench, Haller's on the bench, Lanzini's on the bench. Notable absentee is Yarmolenko. Are you how has the West Ham team come up on your screen yet, Mike? Mike is slightly behind.
Just running through the Aston Villa.
Go on, give us the Aston Villa rundown. Go on.
Oh, they've just bloody skipped past it. Give me 2 seconds. So they've got Ollie Watkins up top. I know that. They've got Martinez in goal.
Yep.
And give me just 2 seconds. I will run through you.
Trezeguet, McGinn, and Jack Grealish are all playing. So's Matty Cash. I know that much. You're a bit ahead of me then,
Martinez.
I think.
Yeah, I've got a picture of Kufau now. So Martinez in goal, Cash, Target, Konsa, Ngoyo, Mings, Hurahan,
yeah, Conor Hurahan.
Douglas Luiz, John McGinn, Trezeguet, and Ollie Watkins.
It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game.
I think it's going to be a pucker game.
I think this is certainly one for neutrals.
This is a game I've been very much looking forward to. That and the Spurs-Chelsea game.
Which
tends to be a bit of a damn squid.
Well, I watched the Chelsea Tottenham game to a point where Chelsea scored and got disallowed, and then I went and made dinner. So I think I saw all the action and didn't see the boring bits.
Giroud at the end tried to chip Hugo Lloris right at the end, but it was rubbish. That should have been the winner. But...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yes.
So Diego Maradona, football Paul is let's confirm this, everyone. He is subscribed now. So
I was just getting that's what I was going to. So I wasn't sure if he had subscribed, but now has subscribed.
He now has subscribed. But that puts us on 30 subscribers. Which is very good.
Thank you very much.
Hang on. Can you hear that? It's the sound of the train. Get on, because we're going. Get on the train before it's too late.
Not to Liverpool.
Not to Liverpool, no. Yeah, so there's a clap going on. Papa Booba Diego Maradona.
You're actually behind me for a change.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So I'll play. Oh!
The way I usually wind Mike up, because he's usually a minute or two behind, he will be doing to me, which is not fun for me, especially being since my team playing. So, should we start Real Jimenez? Real Jimenez. Before we get into this game reaction, Real Jimenez, nasty head clash with David Luiz. Obviously, you mentioned it there with Rob Holding coming on.
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought on that? I mean, should obviously I assume you're gonna mirror my image of we both wish him well. He's obviously got like a fractured skull or something, and he's had an operation. We wish him speedy and safe recovery. But what's your opinion? Should David Luiz have come off because of possible concussion? Because I mean, he had a bandage which was bleeding. Arteta said that he took him off because he was uncomfortable and he couldn't head the ball, and you can't have a centre half who can't head the ball. But he had two big black eyes and a big swollen nose in some of the images I see. So should he have come off beforehand? What's your opinion on it?
Oh, that was a genuine as well. Yes. I know they have their concussion protocols, and there was a lot of, or as soon as it happened, there was obviously a lot of urgency for both players because it made a disgusting sound, and you could tell from the player reactions that it wasn't good, whatever happened. You then see David Luiz covered in a load of claret, but according to Mikel Arteta, he did say that they went through the appropriate protocols, spoke to the...
That's how much I am behind you. I just got the... Okay. It's about 40 seconds. Go on, sorry.
Okay, well, keep watching, son. They went through the appropriate protocols, and apparently that he said he felt comfortable to start off with, but the decision was then made to obviously bring him off because they couldn't control the bleeding.
Yep.
And he was uncomfortable, and as he said, you can't have a centre that doesn't hit the ball. There you go.
Stole my air after him, mate. Get in, Angelo Ogbonna with a big head. Nothing you can do about that. Great start.
That yeah, that was a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a scrappy game, but you can't. He rose like a salmon.
He's left at the back unmarked.
Yep, and you can't do that. He's a quality player, and I think if Declan Rice gets injured, he's got to be our on-field captain. He's been solid for a spin up with us about 6 years now. Absolutely brilliant. Can't fault him. But back to head injuries after that header.
Yeah. So yeah, I think if they follow the protocols, there's nothing really much to say that they can't play.
Yep.
But I do think at the same time you've got to take the players. No, I think you've got to make your an informed decision based on the circumstances.
Yep.
If they thought at that particular time that he could play on, then fair play. But obviously the player then has assessed the situation and said, "No,
yeah,
it's not right."
We'll say he didn't lose consciousness, did he?
Nope.
So that's a big thing about it. So that's very good. I mean, speaking from experience here, a year ago I had a concussion and didn't realise till the day after. Mm-hmm. So people go, hey, you could tell straight away. No, you can't, because I carried on doing what I was doing. I then moved around a load of furniture. It was just, say, my general demeanour. Other people going, something's not right about you, which is why they went, you've got a concussion. Oh, I wouldn't have known. I would have just carried on going, my head really hurts. I've got really bad headache.
Dribbling more than normal.
Exactly. So I do think it's a hard one to do. I do think possibly bringing in, because I know they allow as much time that is needed to get on with the game, but maybe a part-time substitute, the rolling sub, if there is a head injury.
Like a blood sub that they have in rugby.
Yeah. So while David Luiz is being checked to make sure he's fine, you can bring someone on in his place.
Mm-hmm.
If he's fine, that sub comes off at the earliest opportunity, he goes back on. With no sort of penalisation of you've used a substitute, because then if it takes 20 minutes, you're not pausing the game for 20 minutes, which can be frustrating to watch when there are other injuries about. Well, for example, where people roll about trying to waste some time and they go, oh, I'm really hurt, and then 10 minutes later they get up after a magic sponge and run on. Fine, not a problem. With the head injuries, it gives you time to assess them, and you're not at a disadvantage.
Yep. And
then you can make an informed decision. It's a difficult one because you've got to head the ball. Playing football, that's a pivotal part of the game, as we've seen. I think it's the first 5 minutes of this game. But do you, or do they? It's difficult. I don't know. Or do they stop the clock completely until it's all resolved? There's no added time. We've stopped the clock, but I think that should be throughout the board with any injury.
But then, how do you know if someone's feigning an injury? Just to, well, I get what you're saying there actually about the stopping of the clock, because then that avoids the need for stoppage time and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very difficult, I think, to police anything other than a head injury. Obviously, unless it's something like a leg break, and you can see it's a leg break, then you know.
Yeah.
But as you've just said, there are people that roll around on the floor, holding their face or holding their legs or whatever, and it is basically just a waste of time. But I think in that instance, it is going to be very hard to police that sort of thing. I think
with the time wasting bits where people try and get an extra 30 seconds and whatnot, I think you'd get rid of that, because if the clock stops, even like going out for throw-ins and corners until you get it back or you're making a sub, you do that then in a timely manner, because it doesn't matter, the clock stopped. You're not trying to waste a couple of extra 5-10 seconds which you're not going to get added on.
Yeah. I do love that idea, and it's something I've about previously, but it doesn't necessarily mean you can't change it just because something has been a certain way for so many years. But I just think that's going to be one that A, either will never happen, or B, will take a long time to happen, possibly later in our lifetimes that we may see something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you never know.
It's unfortunate. Usually changes are triggered by an event, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, it could mean before there is any change, a very serious incident. Not saying Real Jimenez's isn't, but death of a player or the catastrophic changing of life of a player on a pitch, for them to go, actually, do we need to reassess?
Well, they did. I know this is slightly different, but having the old defibrillator machines in most elite stadiums after Fabrice Muamba.
Yes.
I know there have been other cases of players having unfortunate heart attacks and all that sort of stuff on the pitch anyway, but you think how quickly that was resolved then.
Yeah.
To then it being something that they had to change permanently for all elite teams.
With that coming,
because unfortunately we are at a point now where, granted, they do have the science behind being able to see how people are physically in terms of their body.
Yeah.
Something for a heart attack, unfortunately, is something that you can't anticipate happening unless you're Daley Blind, who's got that built-in defib machine built into his body. Yeah.
Oh,
did you not see it a couple of weeks ago?
No.
He's he had
was he got like an arrhythmia or something?
Yes, yeah. So, but he effectively collapsed on the pitch, and he's got a thing. If it notices an irregular beat or it stops, it's got its own like pacemaker built into it, or defib built into it, zaps him back into life. But they were calling it out a couple of weeks ago because it could potentially and ultimately cause his retirement from football.
Yeah,
and it's something that they're having to keep an eye on. But
I suppose you're adding an extra strain to a problem. So maybe I need one of them. Just get me up in the morning. Give me a little cattle prod or something.
That's all right. I'll speak to your missus, mate. I'm sure we can arrange it.
She'll see you more that is. So let's delve a bit deeper into problems at Arsenal. Now we know that we are in a results. Well, we're not, but football is a results-driven business. He won the FA Cup in his first partial season. He's brought in some players. Thomas Partey's obviously had injuries. El Neni's come back, but then off for 2 weeks. Martinelli's out injured, you could say he's potentially a key player. Ozil's just out the picture completely. Yep. How much time do you give Mikel Arteta to turn it around? Because at the minute, it's turning into a bit of a Arsenal going to be in a relegation scrap soon.
Yeah, this is something I've had to think about all day, and to be honest, I still don't know the answer to that question. I watched a few interviews with a few with a few fans across social media, listened to people's comments, and it's a tough one because I don't understand how we've gone from as good as we were at the back end of last season. It wasn't perfect, but you could definitely see improvement. At the start of the season, I made it very clear that I didn't think that we were going to be anywhere near title contenders, but I did want to see us challenging for that top 4 position, which I think is a must this year.
Yep.
We are very much in a bad run of form, and I sincerely hope that it's just a bit of a phase, because we normally have that sort of blip around about the January-February time anyway.
Yep.
So I'm hoping maybe we get that out of the way early this year.
Okay.
In which case we'll see the rest of the season in a better vein of form. But we can't sustain the current style of play for too much longer. See, it's kind of like a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation at the moment with Mikel Arteta, because we've had so many people calling out for a change in formation, that the formation he was playing, so the 5-2-3-1 or the 4-2-3. 4-2-3-1 and a 5-2-3, whatever it is. It's too defensive, and so he's changed it up. Granted, for the first game, when I think possibly we had a stronger team, Nicolas Pepe gets himself sent off, and then we're on the back foot for the most of their game because of Leeds. They do like to press the ball. They hunt in packs, and they're on you from the word go. And I think that's one of the things that Arsenal done this year is that they've allowed teams to press on them.
Yep.
And we're giving teams the space because we haven't got the creativeness in order for people to drop into positions that become more threatening for us. And I think that we've relied on pace for a lot of our defensive duties with the likes of Hector Bellerin, but for the last few games he's been a bit off the boil. And again, Nicolas Pepe, he's so inconsistent. Aubameyang playing out on the left, he hasn't been getting the service. You put him up top, he hasn't been getting the service. It's a tough one, man. I don't want to say it's just because of one player, but we are definitely missing something like a Mesut Ozil. We have seen it actually in the Europa Leagues games, where he has been playing the younger lads, so your Sakas, your Nelsons, Joe Willock in at the number 10 position. But for some reason, the boss doesn't trust him or trust them in the league.
Yep.
But we did see the introduction of some of those players yesterday because, again, with COVID crisis, injury crisis, we're struggling to get players. But to bring it back into your original question, I don't know. I don't know how much time he's going to have, and B, how much time fans are going to let him have before. Well, some people are already calling for his head. You've only got to look again on social media for the amount of people saying that it's all the manager's fault. But I'm sorry, it's not all the manager's fault. It's the players' fault.
Yeah. We think that it all started very well under Unai Emery.
Yep.
And then it went to pot. And then you had, obviously, Arteta come in. You had that new manager boost and finish the season really well. And now it's all gone to pot again. So it says to me there's possibly some players within that team that are not up for it. They're there to play, but they're not match winners. They're not gonna really dig in to try and change a result. I mean, I know a number of the pundits were saying Kieran Tierney isn't good enough to be a top 4 thing. I personally don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either.
I think he's one of your better players, and I think he's one of the players who will give you a rocket up the bum to get you going and to get other players around them firing.
Why do I feel that your question is something to do with the captaincy or leading into the captaincy?
But that's where you've got to look at who is your captain, because you had
Aubameyang.
And he doesn't. But
I agree.
I mean, it's difficult because I know he says, "Oh, we've got more than one captain." You can't have more than one captain.
I think that system has been scrapped since the start of this year.
Yeah.
I disagree with Aubameyang being captain because I think yesterday was a clear example of why he shouldn't be the captain.
Yeah.
Because he was fairly disinterested towards the latter stages of the game, and it showed. It was evident. You could see it from his body language. There was arms being flung around in the air, and your captain shouldn't be doing that. He should be waving his hands around, but for other reasons, like, come on, guys, pick yourselves up and all this sort of stuff.
So he may be a leader in the dressing room and set an example of being a consummate professional, but West Ham's club captain is still Mark Noble. He's not wearing the captain's armband because he's not playing. Declan Rice has taken over that, but he's been sort of mentored by, in my opinion, one of the best captains to have walked in the Premier League. Not necessarily the best player, but in terms of leadership, when there's a big tackle needed, he will put in a big tackle. He will shout and scream and F and blind at players to get them to do what they need to do when they need to do it. and he will lead by example by trying to grab a game by the scruff of the neck and do something with it. If people are not passing properly, he will grab the ball and run. And Declan Rice has started to do that, and he's a lot more vocal on the pitch than he has been previously. I mean, he's still a very young player, so in terms of people on the pitch, he's still one of the youngest. But when there's a tackle needed, he will put in a tackle. And he will grab the game by the scruff of the neck and try and push forward with it.
See, for me, I think it's very difficult for a striker to be captain. I'm not saying it's impossible, because we have the likes of Henry as one of our captains, and
Rooney was a captain at United for a while, wasn't he? And did all right.
Sorry,
Rooney at United was captain for a little while.
Yeah, and I don't get that. I mean, Rooney, I think is potentially a good captain, because I think he was one that was very vocal, and will give players a rock out the backside. So there definitely needs to be some sort of criteria into what makes a good captain. But for me, I don't get how or why a striker should be a captain, because effectively they've got their back to the entire game a lot of the time, because they're so high up the pitch. Whereas if you've got someone in the middle of the park or at the back, they can call the shots, be able to, or they can see the game clearer, and start dragging back for people into positions and all that sort of stuff. That's very much kind of like your Tony Adams type player as well, or your Patrick Vieira in the midfield. But I don't get, or I don't see the captain qualities from Aubameyang.
No,
from what we saw last season.
But I don't see the captain qualities from anyone in that squad. I don't think you've had a proper captain. Say, Mikel Arteta, I thought was a very good captain when he did captain your side eventually. But since Per Mertesacker left, he was the one who would pull people up on stuff. When you listen to all the interviews, he was the bloke dishing out the fines. He was the bloke telling you weren't good enough. And everyone saw him either as a father figure or as a teacher. But since he's retired, Xhaka can get a yellow card, we know that. But even is he a captain?
No, and I think this is half the problem, that we've had 5 or 6 different captains over that time period. So you've had Bellerin was one of the vice captains. You had Aubameyang, you've got Xhaka. I can't remember. Ozil was one of the captains for a bit. I don't get it. You need to sit down and work out seriously who is going to be, or who is the leader, not only on the pitch, but off the pitch.
I tell you what, I'm going to retract my statement. There is one player that comes to mind when you say about being a captain and a leader in that dressing room for Arsenal. Well, not necessarily in the dressing room, but certainly on the pitch. And possibly the reason, listening to see other players talk and former professionals say it's about longevity at the club. It's like you're the senior person in the dressing room, which helps with being a captain because you know everyone, you've known everyone for longer. But the only thing that I can think of possibly that would stop it happening, Gabriel, and the language barrier. That's the only reason I can see it being a problem. But he's shouting at people and telling them where to be and pointing, and I think he was your best player the other day, or last week, whenever it was. He's quite happy to put in a tackle. He always seems to be in the right position, doing the right sort of thing. And he's always shouting at people. The first time we see him, when I commented on he was a good-looking chap. Now, no, that's not the reason why I think he should be captain. Let's get that clear. But before the game started, before his debut, he was already pushing. So Mike's already seen it. Some of you might have, some of you won't have. Aston Villa are just lining up for a free kick here. It's the 21st minute. They did have a corner, but they can't rise like a salmon like a bomber. So we're still 1-0 up. But we've got a dangerous free kick on just outside the box. And I'm quite glad we're not playing Southampton. Because James Ward-Prowse from there, that's going in.
Actually, yeah.
What a player. What a free kick taker.
We'll come on to that later.
Yeah, so Oh, went through the wall. Fabianski got down well to his right hand side to parry it out for a corner. There's so many players here. See now.
Yes.
Does that? Sorry. If that had gone in, would that counted as obstruction because Fabianski couldn't see because of the Aston Villa players in the wall?
No.
But we've seen them given away for Leicester, like when Antonio was laying on the floor. We weren't given a goal because he. Yeah. But go on. James Ward-Prowse, I think that's where he was going to go next, wasn't it?
No. So I thought we were still on the Arsenal.
Oh, you go on.
I do.
Gabriel, yes.
Gabriel, possibly depending on how long he stays with us as a future captain. Tierney, I think, would definitely, again, another player who depends how long they stay at the club, would be, I think, a choice for captain.
Yep.
Maybe as well, like I've granted we've only seen him for a few games before he picked up an injury, but maybe someone like a Thomas Partey as well, because I think he reminds me from what I've seen of him play, he reminds me very much of a Patrick Vieira-esque type player, and within his mentality, I think he's definitely that sort of ilk of player, and I think again potentially could be a future Arsenal captain. Dependent.
So I know West Ham are on the attack, so I'm a bit nervous. Penalty? No, Masuaka's just got taken out. Big long ball forward. I'm assuming this is going to be an Ollie Watkins running onto it and a goal. No, it's gone out for a throw. I'm not sure what the R was, but I'm about 40 seconds behind. So it should. Aston Villa are out for a throw in, so they've got possession. So I'm a little bit worried. This is like for those people who play Football Manager, being on 1-1 and getting a highlight where your defenders are passing the ball in the 90th minute. Oh, that was a good goal though, wasn't it? Come on.
Yeah.
Now, scored by a player who was just having words with Vladimir Kufau, and that is, or Sufau, as it should be pronounced, Jack Grealish. He's got in the England team, and people have said he's fantastic. He's picked up the ball, no one's pressed him, and he's just pinged that. That's a FIFA goal, and he's pinged it across the keeper. It's gone in. Maybe FIFA is accurate.
No, that has taken. If you see it, I think it's taken.
That's taken the deflection off of O'Connor, so he's gone from hero to zero. Bloody hell!
But fair play to him.
Where's me? Give me 2 minutes. I'm just going to go glue my hair back on. No, it's a good goal. I don't think they anticipated him to hit it from there. What's your opinion on him, Jack Grealish? Do you think he'll stay at Villa now they've started to build around him?
Over the last two, sorry.
Do you think it will stay at Villa now they've started to build that squad around him a bit more?
Well, yeah, he's just signed a new contract, isn't he?
Has he? I have not seen that.
Yeah. Well, I say just signed it. He signed a couple of weeks ago. I think he signed a new 4 or 5 year deal.
Oh, okay. That one went under the radar for me.
Skipped past it. Yeah. So yes, I think he will stay at the club. I think it's going to take a big money move in order to get him out of the club. When I first saw him play, I thought he was very immature.
Yeah.
Was a bit too big for his boots, and basically just couldn't stand him. However, over the last few seasons, we've definitely seen him mature as a player. He's currently the Aston Villa captain.
Has been for a little while now, hasn't he? But he has been for a while, but he's also pulling that last year, he saved them from relegation single-handedly. He took those games by the scruff of the neck and run teams ragged at times. I think the first couple, sorry to interrupt, but the first couple of games we see him play this year, he was having the same problems as he was last year, where he wasn't passing where he should have passed because he was used to doing it all alone. Whereas now they've got likes of, say, Ollie Watkins, Ross Barkley, Matty Cash in there. He's passing the ball a lot more. He's getting it back a lot more. But that's, I think, why Aston Villa are where they are. because they've complemented him well. They've not gone, oh, we need two midfielders. They've gone, right, who will fit in well with this formation around Jack Grealish, which is very unusual for a team to do. I think they just hit Jared Bowen in his neck head. Don't get me wrong, I see Jared Bowen's first goal for West Ham.
You were there, weren't you?
That was there. It's on my Twitter. It's pinned on my Twitter if you want to go and see it. Fantastic little goal. But I'm sorry to say, he's a weird looking bloke. His footballing ability is amazing. I think he's a fantastic fella, and from videos and things I've seen, he's a good laugh. But he's just odd looking to me. You know, where you go through that stage where your neck is the same width as your neck as you're growing up when you go through puberty. He's never got past that. His neck and his head stayed the same width. Never.
I'd never had that issue, but I was about 4 foot tall and sprouted quite quickly.
To 4'5". Sorry,
no, I just. But I was a rake when I was at school. Not the full figure of a man I am now.
That's what lockdown does to you.
My neck was like this.
Oh really?
Yeah, mate. I've got to show you some pictures of me when I was at school. Jesus Christ!
See now,
I look like Simon out of the In-Betweeners.
You did. Did you have
with a lot more spots?
The quiff.
Yeah, man. I had the Statue of Liberty quiff going on and everything. It was bad. It was bad.
Now, here's the thing about necks, right? And this is going off the subject of football completely. This is just going on to anecdotal. I've got 17.5-inch neck, right?
Jesus.
And buying a shirt is horrendous because you've got a 17.5-inch neck. Generally, you're a fat old man, or a fat young man. They don't. Fat woman. I don't know. I don't discriminate. But
person.
But obviously shirts are like a tent. I'm not like a tent. I'm all right. I'm a bit more rotund now than I ever have been. But I went into the shop and said to the tailor in there, I said, I've got a 17.5-inch neck. I need a shirt that's going to fit me. And he went, you haven't got a 17.5-inch neck. I have. He's like, no. He said, I'll get my tape measure. He was foreign. I'm not going to do the accent, but he had an accent because... So he gets his tape measure out and round he goes. And I was sitting and thinking, all right, here we go. And all of a sudden he goes, oh. And I go, does it say 17.5? He went, yes, just over. And he was like, I told you, I'm not, this should come and make it up. That's like a real boasting point for people. I have a 17.5-inch neck. But he just buy a smaller shirt and move the button over. So that's what I did. So now I have to unpick and re-sew buttons on shirts if I want to have them done up. Unless I get a tailored shirt, but I'm not minted, so
no,
not
never.
Little neck anecdote there.
Oh yeah, mine varies depending on what time of year it is. Towards the latter stages, it goes up to about 16.5, but during the summer or the spring and the summer, it goes down to about a 16 or a 15.5, depending how well I've been in terms of eating and exercising. This year's not been so great.
Well, I don't know. I'm excelling on the eating front.
What's that?
I'm excelling on the eating front.
Oh yeah, same.
I can do that.
Same.
Well,
what a bunch of shit. That should be returned.
What's that? The Arsenal one? Yeah. So Black Friday. Did you mean you said you picked up West Ham? Still got some sales on. I've not done anything with it, but
well, speaking of which, I went into social media earlier, and a certain football team had decided to advertise that they had their sale on. I get they still need money and it's still a business, and to put it bluntly, the however many comments that were on there were, you start fucking winning, we'll start buying. It's pretty much the gist of what people were betting on there.
Was that the Arsenal?
Yes.
See,
yeah.
Now I'm gonna track back a little bit. Arteta under pressure, obviously, as most managers are. I think he's got it easy at the moment because there aren't 60. Well, doesn't matter how many fans there are in there. Arsenal still have 60,000 in the stadium, don't they? Even in all the lockdown attendance, 60,000. But he's not
numbers, mate.
Yeah, but he's not got the best part of 60,000 fans, or however many it is, 55,000 if you've got 5,000 away fans, bleating down on him that he's not good enough. And it's not good enough. And the team would be, even at Arsenal, which is known as the library, would be being booed.
Well, we've got 2,000 fans coming in for the game against Rapid Vienna on Thursday. So we've got the Europa League again this week. This will be the first game, I think, or the first Premier League club to have sorry, Spurs. Oh no, I think they're away, aren't they? In the Champions League, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, we've got 2,000 fans coming in, obviously because they're in Tier 2.
Yep.
Are coming back into the stadium. Apparently, it's sold out in 20 minutes. But I think depending on the result on Thursday, in fact, no, even with people being brought into the stadium, I think they're going to make their opinions heard over what's been going on. I know they've set out criteria as to what they can and can't do, what they can and can't bring in. So do people play it safe? Following on from our conversation that we had, I think, on the last podcast,
right,
about what, because people have been told they're not allowed to shout and all that sort of stuff, aren't they?
I've not seen that. I was going to bring up about how West Ham are doing their ticket allocation.
Oh yeah, go on.
So if let's backtrack to the beginning of the season. Obviously, you have to renew your season ticket every year. So they gave the people the option of paying for the full year, having 50% to reserve it, and have 50% in West Ham cash, so you can spend it in a club shop, whatever, and then top it up if you can go back. So what they're doing is all of those people who have paid for a full season ticket will get an email. They can then opt in to be in the ballot for going to a game. So the first one is Manchester United at home. To start off with, it's 2,000 fans. So what they're going to do is, if you get accepted, that's fine. You get a ticket to print off. You then can't be back in the ballot until everyone who is a season ticket holder has won, essentially. So you are going to get to go to a game at some point. I think the amount of people the amount of people allowed in will go up eventually. So yeah, so it's the incentive to go to that game, because that may be the one game in 6 you get to go to, or whatever it is. So yeah, I just thought it was quite a good way of doing it.
Good. Yeah, that is a good idea.
You opt in, and if you haven't opted into any of them, then I think you're just stupid, really, aren't you? But that really.
So from what I've seen from ours, it is again the higher tiered or the season ticket holders. But I'm not sure they're doing it as anything as fair or.
It's just whoever's got the most money.
Yeah, but no, I have seen on again social media basically saying they've managed to hit refresh and managed to get tickets and stuff, because I know it started off going up to, I think it was like platinum members first, and then silver, and then it would go down to tiers depending on who wants to go and all that sort of business. But yeah, some people have been fortunate to get a ticket. Again, I would love to go again. It's been a while since I've been, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I reckon we're looking minimum the start of next season before we start seeing any red members or anything going back into or being offered the option to get tickets. But that does lead me on to nice little parcel that I received in the post the other day. Well, it would have been nice depending on the result, but we have
a membership box.
my membership for this year. And the irony. So as I said, bought some stuff during the Black Friday sale. I got myself an Arsenal face mask, red one.
Yep.
And the Brooks Banana face mask. And for the last few years, Arsenal have been doing some wearables. So I've had a personalised scarf, hats, gloves, and all that sort of shit. What did I get in this year's pack?
Face mask.
A bloody face mask. Well, I've got a nice little badge. Look at that. Woo. And I've got some. Oh yeah, some Arsenal playing cards, baby.
Mate, I think I did the the picture design for that.
And then I've got the official book. But yeah, I'm building up quite a collection of these old membership packs now. Not that it's any good for me because I can't go to the bloody games, but oh well. Never mind. Never mind, for the greater good and all that.
So
yeah, that's my we should cut that bit out and do it as an unboxing special. The FDT unboxing
it's
special.
live. What do you mean cut it out?
Oh, you know what. All right, block that bit out. And,
if you've just watched that, forget that you've watched it.
Yeah, please do, and hopefully we can get as many videos as we did last time.
Yeah. So we mentioned a player there when Aston Villa had a free kick in James Ward-Prowse. Now, for me, one of the best set piece players in the league at the moment. Possibly, you could even strike that to the world because he's on fire with his set pieces at the minute. Southampton were 2-0 up and lost it 3-2 to United. And I was thinking, if United lose this, Ollie's gone. Because, again, results-driven business, he's been in it long enough. They're not performing how they should be. You shouldn't be 2-0 down to Southampton.
No.
The trouble is, I think, with that, is they've had David Moyes, who, okay, I think had almost the most impossible job in the world of replacing Sir Alex Ferguson. And a little bit of a fall guy, because he's, all right, he didn't do well at Sunderland, but he's doing all right at us. I think we're maybe the level of club that he should be at. Then we went to, Louis van Gaal, was it?
Yep.
Who won a couple of cups.
Yep.
Did very well. Well, I think he did reasonably well. He got sacked. Then they went to Jose Mourinho after that, who, again, won a couple of cups, did quite well, finished second with a Manchester United team that are not really much different to what they are now. And now they're on to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who had a good run in his sort of preliminary testing period for the club, and then has been a bit lackluster. Everyone says but he's such a nice guy. With nice guys, finished 14th in the Premier League. That's where you are. Is that where you are at the minute?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't come off.
10 points.
So
13 points.
Yeah. So it's one of those that, yes, when the Champions League anthem plays, they seem to do really well. You don't play in the Champions League every week, and you can't rely on that. I've got very blurry. I feel like I've taken my glasses off, but I haven't. My streams from now TV's got a bit funny. Yeah, but let's get on to the first thing, and then we come back to it. Do you think Ollie, much like Mikel Arteta, has got a limited number of days in this job now? Do you think they're looking at other people such as Pochettino to come in and make good?
I have heard several rumours about potentially already tapping Pochettino up, not potential. So potential rumours about tapping Pochettino up. Well, that's a tongue twister, that one. How true they are, I don't know. I don't think anyone knows unless you're actually involved in the club. I would say yes, his days are numbered, even. No, his numbers are dated. His days are numbered. I think more so than Mikel Arteta.
Okay.
Because they have been so hit and miss for a lot longer. Granted, they have pulled out a few results, but if you're losing against us, it's a recipe for disaster, isn't it? Come on, let's face it. We can hit a barn door at the moment. But no, in all seriousness, yes, I do think his days are numbered, unfortunately. But saying that, they've also come out and said that he's got at least till the end of the season. Or some rumours are that he's got the back end of the board until at least the end of the season.
I think
that's the same for Mikel Arteta. I don't.
Ole Gunnar Solskjaer strikes me as a yes man.
His days are numbered.
Which is why I think he's getting more leniency than what he would have done. I think there may be deeper rooted issues at United. I also think it could be as simple as they were being managed by they were being managed by the best manager in the history of football. I think the season after he finished, or after he left, they finished 7th with the same squad that he'd just won the Premier League with. So you're telling me 7 other squads strengthened that much to beat the champions of the last year? No, I just think he took a squad that should have been 7th and won the league with them. And I think changing from that, and I think Arsenal were going to have a very similar problem with Arsene Wenger. Okay, he wasn't as prolific with Premier League titles in his latter years, but he was still winning FA Cups every other year and a couple of times on the trot in his last few years. You're going from one of the world's greatest to what? A new manager? Sorry, I'm really gassy all of a sudden. A new manager, or a manager who hasn't been there for 20 years, hasn't brought these young players through and moulded them into exactly what he wanted. You think Jack Wilshere was one of them, and plagued by injury, and yes, last few weeks has seemed really unprofessional with some of the comments he's been coming out with and the statements he's been making about some of his previous teams. But he was moulded by Arsene Wenger from the age of like 15 into, this is how I want you to play. This is the sort of player I want you to be. And if he wasn't injury stricken, would be up there with one of the best in the world, I think. So
they had him down as a future England captain in his heyday, didn't they? Like,
he's got
everyone knows he's glass ankles.
Yeah,
and
let's say but so you don't get 15 years to impress now. You get 1. I think managers should be given 3 years. Personally,
regardless.
Yes. I mean, with us, Slavan Bilic, when he first came in, saved us from relegation. Only just, but saved us from relegation. The second season, we had Payet and had that fantastic year. Finished really high in the Premier League. The third season, it all fell apart completely. And it actually showed he's not the best manager. Again, I would say a fantastic assistant manager, because he's a really nice guy. I think he's probably got the potential to throw his toys out the pram, a bit of the hairdryer treatment. But he had the best part of 3 years. And actually, we had one good season and the rest was a bit ropey. So, but within 3 years, that's what? You've got at least 4 transfer windows. Possibly 5 if you're lucky, depending on what side of Christmas you come in. If you haven't managed to get some players in that you want there, then to play in your style, and you still can't produce results, then it's not really going to work, is it?
Yeah. I think it's difficult though, because obviously you've got your transfer windows and all that sort of stuff as well. And I think if you're only giving a manager again, results dependent, 6 months to a year, and if things don't go right, they're not having the chance to have their own impact on the transfer market to get the players in that they want in, to get the players out that they want out. And I know it's going to be very much dependent on other clubs buying those players or selling you those players as well.
Yeah.
But if you're only given 6 months to a year, how are you supposed to do anything? And I think this is the thing that a lot of Arsenal fans, including myself sometimes, seem to forget, is that Mikel Arteta inherited a failing squad. And we saw that for a year and a bit under Unai Emery.
Yep.
We then had the bouncing period, if you like, which again wasn't perfect. I think every Arsenal fan can hold their hands up. It wasn't perfect towards the second half of the season, but we come away with silverware.
Yeah.
Is there the likelihood that we could do that again this year? Possibly. The way that we have been playing it in the Europa League, I think, is possibly going to be one of the main targets that we go for, because I don't think our league position is going to get us into the Champions League this year. So the Europa League is something we're going to have to go full balls to the wall on.
Yeah.
And you never know for the second half of the season, have some players back from injuries, etc., etc. So just the freshness in the squad, and also with the January transfer window, we might see an upturn in form from us.
Yeah.
But I do agree with you that it is going to be, or managers should be given longer. But Ollie's been in the job now, what, 2 years ish?
I think this
years.
He had the full season last year, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So this will be his third season, because he took over halfway through, or the end quarter of the season before that. So this
Yep.
In terms of how many, his second full season, but his third season that he's been at Manchester United
Overall.
Yeah. I think they only just scraped Champions League, didn't they?
So again, that might be the case, that coming towards the end of his tenure at Manchester United, depending on how they do in leagues and also all the domestic cups and obviously the European cups, and that they might call the end of it at the end of the season anyway.
Yes, but and you've also got to have someone better, or that you think is going to be better, to replace them. I mean, Tottenham replaced Pochettino with Mourinho within a couple of hours, didn't they? So if Manchester United can't line anyone up, then you got to stick with what you got, right? So before we go any further, it's half time. It's currently 1-1. Been okay, that's weird. Adverts just come up on Now TV for a brand that someone left where I worked to go and make. So obviously doing quite well for himself.
Nice.
So yeah, well done to you. But we're going to have a little break.
Yep.
Get a wee in. If you've ordered your Dominoes, then answer the bloody door. And then we'll be back for part 2 in the second half. Hopefully with West Ham coming out 3-1 winners, as FIFA 21 predicted in my video. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it now. You've got time.
That's what I was just about to say.
You've got time. It's fine. We'll be back
we'll
shortly.
catch you in a bit.
It's just me. 1-1 at half time. Good result so far. Brilliant. I can hear Mike coming back. He's back. 2 seconds. we have sound. You want to see our faces? Yeah! Shouted the crowd. No. Awkward. So, West Ham are walking back out, still at 1-1 because no one scored at half time. The blonde bombshell himself looks like he's coming on in Said Benrahma. I don't know who for. I would imagine Mikel Antonio, who's just returned with a hamstring injury, seemingly in that first. Masuaku. Okay.
Yeah, and Hannah's come on for Antonio,
right.
Who I know you absolutely love.
I want to switch it off.
Shall we take a brief pause just so you can digest that?
Yeah, hang on. I'll just put the pause screen back up. Hang on. This is fucking right. Here's the thing. I know Antonio's just returned from injury, so pushing a hamstring injury for 90 is. I'm not sure if he's pulling my leg, people. Big long ball forward. I'm assuming we've gone from a back four. Fornals has gone into that number 9 role. Said Benrahma's on the run. No, we lost possession. Haller has got the ball and done nothing with it. Fornals managed to win it back, put it over to Jared Bowen, who's pushed it out to Said Benrahma. Benrahma's cut back in, dinked it in, and a big head from that man himself, neck head. Jared Bowen. I told you. Did I not tell you he's a quality player? Right, but who should have been in that position to get that header? The centre. The centre forward should be in the centre of the box. That's the most I've seen Sebastian Haller run since he's played for West Ham.
But you're leading away, mate.
So, yeah.
Leading away.
So, Haller, it was going towards Haller. It was going towards Haller, but then I don't think Haller would have got it. I think it would have hit him in the eyebrows and he would have gone, and then done this. Right, watch. If a ball goes into the box and it doesn't go directly to him, he just stands there and goes. And it's like, mate, if you move 2-1, I'm happy with that. So since he's played for West Ham United, he's not started yet. Benrahma's got an assist and he won a penalty. He did. Oh no, did he? No, I think he's got 2 assists.
He also gave away a penalty.
2 assists and gave away a penalty. He didn't win a penalty. He excites me to want to watch. But who'd you drop to put him in the squad? Because Fornals has been playing well, Bowen's been playing well, Antonio on these days unstoppable and plays up top as a striker. So do you go to a back 4 again, where a back 5 has been working really well for us, or what do you do?
I think players are just going to have to appreciate that there are going to have to be times for squads to be rotated.
Yep.
Because there's a large number of fixtures that we've. Well, no, it's the same amount of fixtures, isn't there? It's just condensed into a shorter time.
Here we go. Great little bit of defending by Aaron Cresswell there.
To be honest, when it come off, I was like, that's going in the net. But no, I think players do have to appreciate that because the fixtures are coming thick and fast. We've got the starting of the FA Cup next month, not next month, in January, I think.
Yep. Who did Arsenal draw?
So, Newcastle United.
Ah, very good.
I need to actually double check if that's home or away.
West Ham are away to Stockport County, I want to say. And Canvey Island.
That's a loss for you there.
Well, actually, Canvey Island are playing right now. I can't check this. I can check the score. I will check the score right now. So Canvey Island is my local team I went to see growing up. And they are playing on BT Sport right now. Not sponsored. in the FA Cup second round fixtures. What's the score? Here are that. Well, sort of to be expected, because Canvey Island are a bit shoddy. We haven't had a good player since Lee Boylan. They are losing 2-0 to Boreham Wood at home. So here's the thing: Boreham Wood knocked out Southend United, who are bitter rivals of Canvey Island. Very close proximity to local clubs. And if Boreham Wood had lost to Southend, which they should have done, because Southend are in League 2, Boreham Wood are in the conference, I want to say. Maybe the one below the conference, the Vanarama League South. Then Canvey would have been playing Southend, which would have been a fighty affair, because it always is. But
well, not at the moment, because no fans.
In fairness, I think... oh no, there would still be a fight, mate. There would still be a fight. You can stand on the sea wall and watch Canvey. You'd have to be in the stadium. So here's the thing, though, is the next round, the third round of the FA Cup for them is, in fact, Millwall. And I think that last time Canvey played Millwall, it did all kick off, and they actually shut the roads to the island off to catch people. Because there's only 2 ways off of Canvey Island, unless you're taking a swim. So they shut the roads off because Millwall fans were causing chaos. Not necessarily they were Millwall fans, but that was when the occasion was, and that's when the chaos was, and they were all wearing Millwall shirts. So I have to assume that they were Millwall fans. Yeah, so it's maybe a blessing in disguise that they're not through. It's a shame to see. Some of the clubs obviously rely on the ticket money, and having a cup run can change a club's fortunes for years to come. What happens now with no gate receipts? Because the prize money is not terrible once you get into the latter stages, but you think it was the gate money where was the incentive, wasn't it? Especially to be drawn at home.
Yes.
So,
Oh.
So Aston Villa on the attack again, halfway line. They've put it to Douglas Luiz. So here's the thing. Saeed Benrahma played with Ollie Watkins, didn't he, last year at Brentford? Ollie Watkins cost less than Sebastian Haller, yet I would say he's twice a striker. What's going on? This is like pinball, this, isn't it? No. Oh, come on. What's Jack Grealish? Now, I've not seen... I just see him jump on the floor. If he's dived there... Because I didn't see it. It was quite a wide angle. They're looking at VAR. I want to get a bit of... He'll probably go penalty. But he's up and he's fine, so why has he rolled around that much? That's my question. If it hurt that much...
What in the hell is it?
I'm very confused as to what's going on. I've got no sound for you watching that, so I should try and relay as best I can. Mike's obviously seen it ahead. Something's going on. He's got out a yellow card for 4 now.
Slightest of taps. Slightest of taps, and Grealish has gone down.
So 4 nows has got a yellow.
Yeah. Oh, Fido's gone out. John Terry's been booked.
So right, here's my thing. Yes, there is some contact there. It's on the back of the right leg. Jack Grealish goes down holding his left knee. So surely VAR should look at that and go, yes, it was contact, but he's gone down like a sack of spuds here. I thought Kevin Nolan was going to get booked earlier. So why has John Terry got booked? Is he mouthing off, is he?
Well, John Terry, and I think it's one of the West Ham staff as well, has also been booked.
Aston Villa.
You'll see it in a sec.
John Terry's Aston Villa. You said West Ham. But I'm not sure why he's been booked.
No. Well, it's a coach from both So John Terry and one of the West Ham staff has been booked.
That was Alan Irvine, who's our assistant manager. I'm not sure who the beardy bloke is with the specs. It's not me.
It's not my dad, is it?
No, I did think I saw your dad the other day, though. Story for another time. Yeah, so see, Amada Traore got booked against you, didn't he? For diving. I don't personally think it was a dive. I think it would have been a very harsh penalty. But there was contact there. Liverpool get those as penalties on the regular after VAR have looked at it. Yet he went down after contact and got done for diving.
This is something that I actually wanted to bring up with you, because obviously there were a few controversial VAR, bloody VAR, reversing, VAR. There we go. There's your live.
Live. See, you thought it was all. I put it in every week. It doesn't. He does it every week. It's brilliant.
No pre-recording in this show. Yeah. So we've got a few controversial decisions. And one actually went against Liverpool this weekend, which we have seen given for Liverpool, but we saw Liverpool being on the receiving end.
What went against them?
That one? Danny Welbeck. For Brighton to get their equaliser, it was a very much a similar vein of form to the Traore. I can't remember who was against him.
It was one of the youngsters, wasn't it?
Down the left hand. Tierney. It was Tierney.
Oh, well, you talking about Traore, Amada Traore, yeah.
Yeah. So pretty similar circumstances. So it's the slightest of nicks and two different decisions given.
Yep.
So we see Danny Welbeck given a penalty for a foul from Andrew Robertson, and Kieran Tierney on Adama Traore. And both different outcomes. Brighton got the equaliser against Liverpool, which I've got to admit was quite funny. And luckily, we managed to get away with that. I do agree. Having seen it in the slow motion replay, technically it should have been a foul. It should have been a penalty. I'm glad it wasn't, because obviously we were getting done anyway.
Yeah.
But this just goes back to the thing that we've said so many times. As good as VAR has been on some, the majority of decisions, it's all subjective. It's crap. There's no guidelines. Three people could look at that decision and give completely different results.
In my opinion, for that one, the Amada Traore one, I think if it had been given as a penalty, I don't think you. And then you looked at it, I don't think it would have been overturned by VAR, and I don't think you could argue it. Where it was given as a yellow, I think, was it a clear and obvious error at the speed it was going? No, so you shouldn't overturn it. But I just feel like they should say what they should have gone is just carry on with the game. Don't book him or make him make him rescind the yellow card. I think it's the fairest way.
I'm very surprised if they don't appeal that, but I don't think you can appeal yet.
No, you can't.
Can you?
Nope. So if he gets
cards,
he gets a couple more between there's certain deadlines, then he will be banned for 2 matches, I think it is, or 1 match, which I think is harsh considering he did get fouled. I don't think he went down like a lot of them do with he went down how you would go down, running at the speed he was running. I feel like it would have been a soft penalty because there wasn't much in it, but is it not the same person? Go on.
I was just going to say we have seen him given, and we have seen him not given.
Yeah.
for exactly the same foul.
But is it not?
It's one of those ones. Sorry.
Is it not the same person in the VAR room for like all the Sunday games or all the Saturday games? Or
I'm not entirely sure how it works, to be honest. I know Andre Marrow was the VAR official for our game, I believe.
Every time I hear the name Andre Mariner, though, for the last 6 months, it's all been because of horrendous decisions. It's not been how fantastic a game did he ref. It's all been controversy.
He's given some dodgy decisions against us, possibly righting some wrongs yesterday. But again, it's one of those things. I would say I would be outraged if it was given against us. Sorry, I'd be outraged if it wasn't given for us. But at the same time, thankful that it wasn't.
Yes.
Given. Does that make sense?
Yes. So if you got it, you'd be like, ha ha, cheeky. We'll take that. But if it's against you, you feel hard done by.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's understandable. It's a difficult one because, so, as you said, rightly so, there's been some given for exactly the same thing and less. Yet.
Yeah, and that just leads me on to something I'll bring up. I don't know if you have seen it. It has been trending quite a bit today for Rob Holding's rant at the referee.
I've not seen it.
A foul given on Traore, which I thought is one of the funniest. When I heard it yesterday, because I like to play it with the crowd noise, so you could see it was having a bit of a rant at the referee yesterday. But when I finally saw what he actually said, it did make me chuckle, and it's made quite a few people chuckle as well.
I've not seen it. Is it family friendly?
It's. I will mute the expletives. He's built like a brick house.
Yep.
How's he going down like that? And if you hear it in his cheeky little northern accent, it just makes it even funnier.
Yeah, I can understand.
I do like Rob Holding. There's
well, no,
scene again.
What I will say to Rob Holding is have a look at yourself in the mirror, mate. It happens to the best of us. You need to shave the barnet.
Yeah, boy.
It's. I mean, I took the plunge before it completely islanded off at the front. But you've got an island, mate. It needs to come off. Come on. If you need some help, let us know. We'll sort you out. We're looking at the average hairstyle of our channel, mate. You'd be in good hands.
Could even sort our beard out for you as well.
Yeah.
Yours is more impressive than mine.
Well, mine's a bit.
I just get patches.
Mine's a bit scruffy today, but yeah. Now, West Ham, FIFA 21. Let's get on to some real football for people who don't even watch football, just play football. Predicted this game to come out of 3-1. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. West Ham have got a corner.
Seriously, man, you watch this.
If it's Haller, I'm just shutting the stream off. If it's Haller, I'm just shutting it off.
No. It's other end.
That was that a handball? Do you know what this counter attack that's going on now? They're Aston Villa are absolutely running raggedy. It makes me feel like oh yeah, I see what you mean. Ollie Watkins is through. Balwain is there. Oh my god!
How has he not scored that?
Because Lucas Fabianski, mate. Lucas Fabianski is the best goalkeeper in the world. See, now Jack Grealish, right, has just taken down Ben Rama with more contact than what he went down with for 4 nails, and it's not even a foul.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where the inconsistency comes in, because VAR should look at it and go, you booked one player for something, a lesser foul. So in that instance, does that mean that should be a red card? Because it's there's more contact there.
More snipers about, mate.
Don't tell me this. Was that Trezeguet that missed it, wasn't it? So do you know who I'm glad's not playing? Ross Barkley.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of people slate him, but I like Ross Barkley. I think he's a great player.
Yep.
Aston Villa on the attack again. Out with Jack Grealish, a man with no shin pads. Big head by Oddbonner. Back in to Grealish. Oh, come on. He's gone down again. See, now here's the thing, right? Before the game started, Trezeguet's still distraught that he missed that thing. He's like, mate, you're just shit. Let's watch this replay. So Ollie Watkins does really well to pick him out. In the middle of the box, someone about Fabianski. Oosh. Big hand. Mate, I tell you what, he's training with the under-23s tomorrow.
Grealish.
No, Trezeguet. Here's the thing, right? We was both hyping Jack Grealish before this game, saying he's an exciting player, he's really good. But how he goes down frustrates me. Because he goes down for things that are not a foul. And maybe he's trying to force a move through to Liverpool. And I can do it too.
Do you think, because there's that stat, isn't it, that says he's the most foul player in the Premier League. Now, from what we've seen this evening, there have been a few fouls that have been given against him, I would say needlessly. But that's obviously just inflating.
He's from what I can see, the ones that he, out the 3 fouls I can recall from the first half against him, one of them was a foul. Mm-hmm. He's been given 2 in this half, neither of which are fouls. It's I don't. It's how do you get rid of it though? Because VAR should be picking it up for diving, but they didn't. They picked it up and went, yeah, book for now. So there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know how you eradicate it. I thought that the video ref would eradicate the diving, but if anything, it's actually made it's played into diving's hands. Because they
I think if you can show some sort of contact,
yeah,
you know it's going to get slowed down, and therefore you can kind of play on that.
And everything looks worse in slow motion, doesn't it?
The Traore decision yesterday was saying that he went looking for the contact, so he kind of like forced the contact with Tierney, which I don't think. Now that's a foul.
Mate, I haven't got that far. It's turned into a scrappy game. But FIFA 21 predicted it. Fabianski did a fantastic little jumpy dance there. I like that before he kicked the ball. It predicted this game to be 3-1. So if it comes out 3-1, I'm going to be impressed.
It's going to be the standard that all FIFA games are going to be played at. All matches are going to be predicted at.
Yeah.
And do you know what's funny? Do you remember I said to you the other day that I was looking, or I did my lineup, my exact lineup that I did in my lineup prediction video. I did against Wolves, and the first game that come out, I think I've still got the paper.
See now, the Aston Villa players got my text just as they come on, saying take him out. I don't like him. Matty Cash, we tried to buy for 2 years. He's just got booked for that tackle. He's a great little player, playing for Aston Villa, and I'm quite jealous that they got him. Playing at right back, but you can play in midfield. Right. Go on. So the first Aston Villa ones, Wolverhampton ones.
First fixture that I played with my lineup. So I did 3 different lineups just to see what the results would be.
Yep.
And the first fixture that come up, or the first result that come up,
4-0.
Wasn't spot on, but no, 2-0.
Oh, 2-0.
Sorry, it's a really appalling school handwriting.
2-0 to Wolves.
To Wolves.
Yep.
And that was with the lineup that I picked in my my prediction.
Yep.
Or my preview.
Yep.
If you haven't already, check out our preview shows. We do them every week for the Premier League games. Ian was very smart in his last preview for this game, in fact, where he started to use the FIFA technology. I'm pretty sure this is what you were going on to.
Yeah.
They used the FIFA technology to predict today's score, and so far I think is doing all right. And
it's not, the goals haven't come in the same order, but
no, but
very similar game.
Could be the same result.
Hang on, just get the phone, mate. It's Big Sam. Oh, no,
it's Big Sam.
That's a notepad, mate. That's a notepad. He's not on the phone.
That's so good.
I've rung him up.
I think we should get him involved.
I'm rung him up and I said to him, Sam, I said, I need some more. I need some contacts. What can you do for me? And he said, oh, I know a wheeler dealer, you know, Harry Redknapp, but don't let him know that I heard you say that. So who's this? Ah, Traore, former Chelsea graduate, lightning quick, lacking a bit of confidence, come from Lyon in the summer. Looks like he's coming on. Trezeguet will be coming off, so that's a little bit concerning that he's coming on. I would have liked him a foot race against Masuaku because they're both quick, but against Aaron Cresswell, pardon me, not my cup of tea. I think Cress loses that 9 times out of 10. Aston Villa are plucking away here, aren't they? They're trying to pile on the pressure.
Yep.
Trying to pile on the pressure. West Ham are withstanding strong at the minute. 70 minutes in. And we're, what's that, 20 to go?
Yes.
So if we win this, I think it puts us up to 7th.
Yep.
I think.
Right, we'll just double check. So as the scores currently stand,
I'm surprised Jack Grealish didn't go down there. He looked like there was a bit of turf that was overturned that got on top of his foot.
This will put you up to 5th.
You're 5th. You're not 5th.
Stands, no, it will take West Ham up into 5th.
Rocketing up the league.
So you're on 17 points, but you've got a superior goal difference over Southampton and Wolves.
Mate, we're playing really well this season. The only thing letting us down is Sebastian Haller is French and lazy. I'm not saying all French people are lazy, but the ones I've come across are. All the ones that play in the French league seem to actually put in some commitment because they're playing in front of a home crowd. The ones that play in the English league, questionable.
He's got to get booked for diving. No way they're giving that as a penalty.
No. So he flopped. He flops like a fish. Declan Rice is fuming.
They can't give that as a penalty. Oh, to be fair, he's got a lot of blood in it.
Yeah, blood means nothing, man.
Oh, it's absolute pissing blood.
Yeah, but what's he gone down for? It's like the old.
No idea.
It's like the old wrestling days, mate, where they got the razor blade out and there's no seemingly contact there, is there? Does he go down and catch his studs on the way out? If VAR don't overturn this, then it's a joke. Go away. You're saying go away. See,
well, he's got need in the head, but he was already going down.
And now he's refusing treatment. He's refusing them to sort it, so he should be sent off.
Oh, hang on, no. Rice has pulled the back of his shirt.
Wasn't Rice in front of him?
If they have given that is really harsh. They have given it.
But for what? I've not got that for it.
That is a ridiculous.
Oh, get out! But he's not gone down like that. So yes, there is a tug on the shirt, but he's not going down when there's a tug on the shirt. He's going down once he realises he ain't getting to it.
He's gone down feeling the tug on the shirt.
But he tugged him. He took 3 steps when he pulled it before he even started to go down.
No, and that's what I mean. So he's tugged his shirt, and it's only after he's kind of like let go of it. He's kind of, oh shit, I can go down here.
See, now here's the thing, right?
Excuse my language.
Ollie Watkins now, who looks like he's going to be taking this penalty. If I was him, I would just roll it towards Fabianski. I'd say, look, we don't think that was a foul. A bit like Leeds did when they let that other team score. When it was Aston Villa, they let score, wasn't it? A couple of seasons ago in the Championship, because that's not a pen. I just
keep watching.
Does he save it then? Does he? I hope he misses. I like Ollie Watkins, but I hope he misses. Ah! Have that.
Just no. To be fair, mate, I think it's been really, really, really hard done by if that had got in.
But this is the thing, right? VAR should have looked at it and gone, it's not a penalty. Yes, it was a little tug, but he absolutely walloped that though. Beat the keeper, but he's put it too high. You know, he was trying to imitate his coach, wasn't he?
Did you see the stats of his?
Are they going to make him retake it?
No. I think he's taken 5 penalties, scored 3 and missed 2. No, scored 2 and missed 3 or something.
Who's this? Ollie Watkins?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Oh, they're going down like flies. See, now here's the thing, right? Is if I was David Moyes, I'd go over to him and say, "Bottom, I'm going to take a red." They go, "What?" I'm going to take a red, and I would go and absolutely clatter somebody to the point where go, "That was a foul." Make a point out of it. Oh, yeah, that was a foul, wasn't it? West Ham player got tackled by the grass. Foul. But VAR should be eradicating things like that, not going, oh yeah, that's acceptable. I'm not sure how he ended up bleeding. I don't know if he hit a stud on the way down.
No, he's hit Declan Rice's knee.
Oh, okay.
Like he's taken a knee like full on in the face. Yeah, it was. To be honest, I was very surprised when I saw that. Given, there we go. Someone's just gone through the back of Douglas Luiz. But to be honest, mate, I think from what you said,
I've not got that far.
Go through the back of everyone.
But that's what I would do.
Game of FIFA.
But that's what I would do. Is you're going down with no contact or the minute of contact. We're going to put every tackling on you now, and you're gonna be bruised and you're gonna hurt. Stop diving.
It's like watching me when I'm losing like 6 or 7-0, and out come the slide tackles.
Yep. But that
break everyone's legs.
Douglas Luiz hasn't dived once this match. Yeah, he's now getting the crop of it because see that Ollie Watkins one. He put his leg through. He didn't touch him. He didn't need to go down like that. If he'd stayed up, do you know who was one for me for staying up? Wayne Rooney. People would put in challenges on him. He'd stay up, and he's the top goal scorer for Manchester United, is he not? And for England. If you stay on your feet and actually play football, you beat your man every time because they ain't catching you. 10 minutes to go, or 15 minutes to go.
Thinking for actually something that Phil said a couple of weeks ago was I kind of understand what he was saying in terms of it just seems to be the way of the game at the moment. But if you don't go down, you don't let the ref make a decision on what could be. So you could give your team the advantage for a penalty, whether it's wrongly or rightly given. Oh, here comes the boy.
Man United Herbert, thoughts on next week's game versus Man United? Yes, I'm looking forward to it. First game back with fans in. I think we're in a much better vein of form than you are. I just feel like, as Aston Villa do, some of your players do go down like a little bit easy. So VAR seems to curl to your every waking moment and go with whatever you like, whether you get a penalty and have to retake it. Competitive game. If you want to do a collab on a match preview and give me your thoughts, then that would be even better. Because I think it's going to be competitive. I think it could end up as a draw. Obviously, you've got comeback power with, as you did with that. Haven't lost any away games since last Jan, so away form is brilliant. Well, it might be. We're just in brilliant form overall. Is the best way I've seen West Ham play in a long, long time. Yeah, I think it could be a draw, maybe. We've got Antonio back. He's been taken off, so he's going to run Lindelof ragged and Harry Maguire ragged. I think we've just got a lot more speed than you have. So West Ham to maybe win the first half, Cavani to score some goals and do a slightly racist post afterwards to win the second half. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I couldn't translate it myself. But someone said all the news outlets like, "Yeah, it's so bad that he's done that." It's like, was anyone actually spoken to him about what that means in the context of what he's used it? We'll win with a pen. It wouldn't surprise me if you did, mate. It wouldn't surprise me if you did.
In the 93rd minute.
93rd minute. Yeah. We'll save the first two, and then they'll say Fabian Anstey's come off his line. You've got to retake it. So Man United, Herbert, we had this discussion earlier. I don't know if he was about how long's Ollie got left in the job. If the results don't start going your way, an unconvincing win against Southampton, how long's he got left?
And I would like to throw a question out to him as well, actually, with what do you think of Cavani's performance with his 2 goals right at the end? I thought his second goal shouldn't have been a goal. Not in the fact that it should have been disallowed, but I don't know any striker in the modern day game that would be willing to get his head that low and get his bont on the ball to get it in the net. I thought it was a brilliant goal. We do run the goal of the week poll every week, and that was actually one of my goals because I thought it was an absolutely outstanding goal.
Yep. Here's the thing, right? If Manchester, if you have David De Gea in goal, then you're going to lose a game. If you put Dean Henderson in, then I think you probably win. And yes, you are correct. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would be an assistant manager for Moyes, but Moyes took an impossible job and replaced the best manager that has ever been, so he got sacked. You can only bring in Fellaini. No one else wanted to come. Aston Villa, they're probing again, aren't they? I don't like this. We've been here's the thing. Since we've bought Sebastian Haller on in the second half, we've been on the back foot. So at what point will they start listening to me and knowing that he's rubbish? Like, he's not got the presence. He doesn't scare defenders.
To be honest, I think no, I suppose you're right, because for the majority of the part you have been on the back foot. But I think if it wasn't for his pass out to Benrahma, I think you wouldn't have scored your second goal.
Yeah, but one pass a game, is that what you get from your record signing? Is that what you're telling me? No wonder Rozzle's sacked from the team. Manchester United, we have a PSG game tomorrow and then home at West Ham. Yeah, so you'll smash PSG because it's Champions League and you play well in the Champions League, and then you'll be away to us and you'll lose 100%.
Be sure to check out Ian's preview video coming up later on this week.
There you go. He's just said the same as me. They'll beat PSG and lose to West Ham. Mate, brainwaves. You ain't got the same haircut, have you? Fit in well around here. I don't see where if Aston Villa get a goal here, I think they're going to get 2. We've only got like 7 minutes to play, but they are really beat Leipzig 5-0, lose to Arsenal. Yeah, see, there you go. This man knows. Made Mike very happy, that win. He's not been happy in a while, so you're bringing back nice memories for him. Thanks for that.
Yeah, that was. But we only won it on a penalty. The irony: Man United losing to a penalty.
He's a big threat.
Yeah,
I don't want to watch anymore. I don't want to watch. Just want the whistle to go. Can we not pay someone off to blow the whistle early?
I think there's more than one person you need to pay off, mate. Speaking of weekend fixtures, just want to get your take on the North London derby.
Tottenham are your smasher.
Arsenal versus. Yeah. Okay.
Mate, we're the only team. We're the only team Tottenham can't beat. West Ham is my second team, so I watched them since you've given us Rio, Carrick, and Tevez. Yeah, well, you sort of stole Tevez, didn't you, on the dubious circumstance, and Rio. Well, no, he went to Leeds first, didn't he? Carrick, one of the best players ever to come out of the West Ham Academy in recent years. So Tottenham Spurs, right? Here's my take on it. Tottenham, as much as it pains me to say, and Arsenal to win, trust me, and lose to some crap. Yeah. So he's saying that Arsenal are going to win the North London derby and then hack it off to Sheffield United for their first win of the season. Maybe playing after that. So Tottenham are in the best form that we've seen them in years. And I said this at the beginning of the season. Everyone laughed at me. Jose Mourinho is a serial winner, and he will win something this year. It may end up just being a League Cup because we know Tottenham like a bottle job, but Tottenham will run you ragged. They've got speed, they've got commitment, and they want to win, and they've got the confidence to win. Burnt Leno looked like a beaten character. He wasn't shouting and screaming at the Arsenal players. He was just like, that's not what you said. If you're let down by your defence, you're going to give him a rollicking, aren't you? You're going to give him a rollicking. I'm going to go with that, mate. If you want to make a prediction still for me to take your trophy, I'm going 5-0 Tottenham.
Do you know what? I actually had that written down.
5-0 Tottenham.
I'm at two minds with this game. I know this is supposed to be the West Ham Villa watch along or whatever it is, but
party is out to New Year, so
and I'm in two minds about this fixture because November has been a crap month unless we're playing in the Europa League. We're undefeated in the Premier League.
Jack Grealish. Okay.
But we have been absolutely abysmal this year. I think it's been the opposite of where Arsenal travel better than they do at home. But I'm hoping, as we all know, form goes out the window for derby games, and I'm praying to every god there is available that we come away with a silly counter-attack 1-0 win. Well, I know it's not going to happen.
Buddha is here and he says no.
I'm just going to rub it there. No, I honestly, I think we're going to get tonked. But I am dreading this game. I've actually had a few Arsenal fans message me today just to say they're not even going to bother watching the game. I can't not watch it. As frustrating as we have been, I can't not watch us play. And it's like playing FIFA. I get so angry about playing and losing constantly. And I come up with all sorts of messages to say I'm retiring. But I know within a few days, I'm going to fall in love with it again. I'll win one game. I think the best thing since sliced bread. And I'll start playing it again. And then the whole cycle continues. That is what being an Arsenal fan is like.
Hang on. I've just got to take something up here with Herbert. I love chatting with fans who support low-level team. 3 lads chatting rather than 50k with agendas. We're 5th, mate. What do you mean low-level team? 5th. This is like winning a league for me. But back to your point about it's a form goes out the window. Mm-hmm. I think it would do if there were fans in the stadium. I think that would rile the Arsenal team up. There's not fans in the stadium. Well, there will be, but very few. I meant top. I can't even speak, mate. What he meant is like traditional top 4 teams. So usually, Mark, that would be you, but not anymore. Relegation fodder.
Hang on, me or United?
Well, both of you this year, mate. You both below us, aren't you? Mighty West Ham. Come on. Also, what edge to be Arteta out?
What led me to be Arteta out?
Another loss to Tottenham.
No, it's going to be a difficult one. I mean, I just want to say, as long as we go out and we show that there has been some improvements. If we leave everything on the pitch and we come away with a loss, you can't say more than that. If it comes down to being a lucky Harry Kane 50-yard screamer that no keeper's going to do anything about, we'll have to just hold our hands up, providing that we give a good account of ourselves. However, if we play the way we have been over the last few games, I don't think he will last too much longer. We've already discussed it earlier in the video, is that I think he's going to be in the job at least till the end of the year, regardless of the position, because I don't think...
End of the season or end of 2020?
Sorry?
End of the season or end of 2020?
End of the season.
Sorry,
I reckon he'll be there to the end of the season. However, if it gets to the end of the season and we finish outside of the tops, so outside of the European places, including Europa, I think serious questions will need to be asked if we haven't won the Europa League.
I don't think you're going to finish in any European spot unless you win the FA Cup. It's not happening. I just don't see it. I don't see where this fantastic turnaround in form is going to be. There's 5 minutes of added time in this game, just to let you all know that if you are watching it. Aston Villa are smashing the chances. They're just running us ragged. But since you put in that big tackle after that dive from Trezeguet, and the penalty, and we put in a couple of big challenges, funny enough, the Aston Villa players are not falling all over the place. Oh, no.
Sorry. Just to answer the question, would I accept another season in Europa? After the way this season is going currently,
he's got to be offside. He's offside. Surely.
It's gone to VAR, mate.
It's offside. If your nostrils can be offside, his whole chest is over the offside line there. If he doesn't get called as offside, then I will eat my hat. Because his knees out.
It's coming.
No, Kufau might be playing him on, actually. Oh, come on. Look how far his armpit's out, though. No, he's looking at that yellow line there. He's off. He's off. I think West Ham can get Europa. No chance, mate. We thought that a couple of years ago. We always muck it up. We're just riding high until Christmas. We was in the Europa League once. Me and Mike went to watch, and it looked like the ref had been match fixed.
Oh, that was a disgusting.
That was the last time West Ham entered Europe.
Sorry, just to go back to his question. We'll come back to West Ham in Europe before. Yes, I would take another season in the Europa League because of the way we have played at the moment. I think it's going to be our
He's well
chance
off.
to get European
He's
football.
well off.
However, the ambition I know is to get into the Champions League.
How can he be played onside by someone that's miles away? He's well off. He's off.
I hope that answers your question.
Why are they looking at it for so long? He's offside. The lines are quite clearly, the West Ham player is well behind that line. He is offside. If they're going to do it from this part, now they're redrawing the lines because they're not happy with it because it doesn't fit their agenda. He's offside. He's offside. They dive for a penalty, which they smashed against the crossbar. Ollie Watkins is offside. Look, the yellow line is now behind that line again. It's offside. You don't need a computer to tell you that. I could look at that from a still and go, he's offside. He's offside.
They've got to be sure
But out of 5 minutes added time, we've taken 4 minutes for me to tell you in 30 seconds he was offside.
Oh, so funny. It's nice to be ahead of you for a change because I know what's coming up.
If they score again, mate, is that what you're telling me? For you watching, Mike is about 40 seconds ahead of me in this game. For no other reason, we're not watching. I haven't paused it. It's just he's where he is. He's receiving it 40 seconds quicker than I am. So does that mean we still played for 5 minutes because I haven't added on extra time? Because you can't do that. Someone put a tackle in and injure somebody.
We'll find out in a second because there's only about 15 seconds of added on time to go. So we'll.
Oh, you're 30 seconds. I'm catching up. No, don't make noises like that. Come on, this is going to be the best start to a West Ham season in. Well, since I've supported West Ham. See, now, we've dropped the most points last year from winning positions. This year, I think we've been much better at it. But we're playing 4 at the back. See, where's Sebastian Hanna? Why is he not back? What was that? What was that attempt at trying to get him? Get the ball. He just... winds me up. Right. Say, fans, waste time. Take the yellow. And the 3 points. It's coming home. It's coming home. It's coming. Don't. You're winding me up. No, you're winding me up. Get out of it.
Oh, this is so good. This is so good.
See, now, our West Ham player's gone down holding his head, but the ref don't care. He's up again now. He's fine. Do you know what? I remember when we first signed Faguli, the last Algerian player, who dived all over the place. West Ham fans booed him every time he dived. Within 3 games, he'd stopped diving. Have that for your drink. Is that a saying? That's going to be a saying now. Have that for your drink.
Yep, have that for your drink.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yep. But it works.
It does. Big head, big head. We're in the dying embers of this game here. My head feels like sandpaper. I want to fidget, but I don't want to fidget because
we're professional. I've been like all game. I've been like this.
Semi-professional, mate. Semi-professional. I'm never counting as a professional. I'm not. I don't ever want to be. It's that means people think you know what you're doing. I just like talking gibberish about nothing.
Oh, well, we definitely don't.
Come on.
We have a bloody good go. I think that could be the motto for this channel.
We have a bloody good go.
We've got a teapot for a trophy.
Yeah, man.
We're average at FIFA.
Man United Herbert, if you're on Twitter,
good game.
It was a good finish to the game. Was a good finish to that era. But that was when your bus turned up late, didn't it? And that you almost forfeited the game. But it turns out West Ham fans are just blocking you from getting to the game. And egged your bus and bottled your bus and bricked your bus and right. That's 3 points in the bag. West Ham up to 5th. But yeah, certainly if you want to get involved in the conversation, send me a DM on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, and let's get a conversation going. So a good 3 points.
I actually quite enjoyed this.
It was a good 3.
It's nice to watch a team win for a change. Oh, what a bunch of crap we are.
So Jared Bowen scored the winner. Ogbonna with his big head.
Yep.
As you can see, I based my haircut on him. As we said that earlier, I used that joke already. Look at that, matching haircuts, matching kits. These tans are a little bit better than mine. I'm pasty white.
Only just.
Yeah. Well, it's because I've been in lockdown, man. No sun. He's a great player though. He went to the West Ham store once, and I was on my lunch break, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" So I stood in line for my lunch break. Hate the new stadium. Barely see the players. Have you been though? See, here's a question. Have you been? Because I've sat in several different positions. I've sat row 2. I've sat up in the gods. I've sat in corporate. It's fantastic to be there. And the higher up you are, the more you can hear all the fans singing and chanting. And the furthest away seat is closer than the furthest away seat. I've not sat in the away end, but the furthest seat in the London Stadium is closer than the furthest seat at Wembley. So, and I've sat at the gods for Wembley. So, and someone for an aeroplane, it went on the pitch. It was great.
I have even been to the London Stadium, and I've got to say, it is a pretty nice stadium. Because that brings us back onto the West Ham in Europe.
West Ham in Europe, game. Yes.
I've even still got my ticket, I believe.
We're just celebrating that we lost.
There it is. I've still got my West Ham ticket.
Yeah.
There you go, boy.
Traitor.
What a day how that was.
Has that got that hasn't got my address on it, has it? Or your address? So. I hope not.
No, it hasn't.
Good.
100%. Yeah, sorry, I didn't even think about that. No, it definitely 100%.
If Leicester hadn't won, Leicester didn't win today, did they? 72 quid for an adult robbery at the Emirates. You can go for it, but you can get a library for free, can't you? So even paying £2 would be.
Go and watch your local team; it'd be better.
No, not true. Not true. So when we first moved to the London Stadium, right? I could get a season ticket for West Ham for 2 seasons. I would have to sign up for 16 quid for fish and chips. That's not a bad price.
That's par for the course.
But I could get a season ticket for West Ham for £25 less than what I could get it at my local non-league club. I didn't have the money at the time, so I didn't do it. But that's the difference. So
I can go off now.
The new stadium has given me the opportunity to go and see more West Ham football than I ever got to see at the bowling, because you could never get a ticket for the bowling, which is I think is a bonus. Yes, it can be improved vastly, and I think it will be when they're made to buy it, which from reports that I've read will be the end of next year. And I think at that point, we'll then start to make our own changes to it and make it into a multi-sport venue rather than the athletics track. I think they've held baseball there, they've held rugby there, concerts are held there. I think there will be more stuff happening. Which way stadium you guys hate travelling to? Right. What's your least favourite away? My least favourite, I will say, not necessarily for the stadium. Wolves and Brighton for you. Stoke. Didn't even go for a Stoke game. It was a Canvey Island game back in the day. But that's a shithole, isn't it?
Well, we drove past.
We did drive past it. It brought back horrible memories. There's nothing. It's just we went. Was it Stoke or was it Burnley? No, it was Stoke. We went there. We hung about to start off with at a pub, and it was just horrendous. Six-fingered people looking at you with beady eyes. It's not much different to where I'm from, to be fair, but yeah, you are correct.
No, you get web feet.
My favourite, without a shadow of a doubt, and it will change now because they're updating the stadium, was Fulham. Fulham away was one of my favourites. Where the old away end, it was almost like it was built on scaffolding boards, and as people started jumping, the whole stand moved. That was fantastic.
Fortunately, I've never been to an away game.
Have you?
It's fucking impossible to get tickets for away games for Arsenal fans.
We'll have to. Burnley, they don't let us use the bathroom without taking a peep. Not been to Burnley. The one. Southend United home end is quite interesting. You're talking about toilets because their toilets, they don't have any. They have one that's got 2 cubicles in it, and they have one which is a urinal. It's not. It's just a brick built building with a hole around the edge. They've not quite matched the floor up to the walls, and it's horrendous. That's quite a horrible one.
Southend, man. I haven't been to Southend in years.
You're not missing much. I mean, I think they've won 1 game this year, have they not?
I think they've won 1 game in the last 2 years. But no, I used to love going up Roots Hall. That was a great day out because the tickets were fairly reasonable. A few of us used to go along. Bought myself a Southend shirt, and it was a good day out. I mean, granted, it was pretty hit and miss to how they would perform, but I remember seeing a few Southend players after I think they got promoted from League One or League Two back into League One, or League One going into the Championship. So this is going back a few years ago, and seeing a few of the Southend players outside of one of the casinos down in Southend. And me and my mate, we were going up to the casino, have a few drinks, have a few bets, and we said congratulations to the players, and they completely ignored us. So we were like, fuck you. That's good.
Have you ever been to Palace? No, you haven't been to away games, have you?
No.
Mate, Bubbles. The only reason we have Bubbles at West Ham is because everyone enjoys Bubbles. It always reminds them of their childhood. More Bubbles, the better. If you've never been to a phone party, mate, you need to get there because
get involved.
Just make sure you have a shower afterwards, because I don't wear anything nice. Ruined. I'm quite happy with that result, you know.
Played well, dug in. I think it would have been hard done by for that penalty.
Yep.
And I'm glad that was ruled correctly offside.
I think it was
I just think they made a mountain out of a molehill. Or having to check it 14 different times. You could see it was quite clearly offside.
I told you that,
just from the 2 angles that they showed. Yeah.
So it was a Jekyll and Hyde performance. I will say that. We bossed the first half. Second half, we weren't really much about us, was there? That first 2 minutes. Well, that first 2 minutes was strong, and then yeah. So next result. So West Ham have got Man United. I'm going to go 2-2 off the top of my head. What's Arsenal? Who's Arsenal playing? Tottenham. I said 5-0, didn't I? So we do have a little challenge. Mike's currently the champion from last year, where we predict the games. We were predicting 3. Did you want to do a wild card?
So let's see what big fixtures are. Do you know what? Actually,
Herbert, give us a Premier League fixture for next weekend. That's not Arsenal or West Ham. If you're still there, I don't know if you're still there.
Oh yeah, all right. We'll let them decide.
He's going 3-1.
Liverpool Wolves could be a good.
I don't want to do Liverpool no more.
Saturday, big games on Saturday.
Who is
Chelsea Leeds?
Fulham won, didn't they? Today?
Fulham are playing Man City.
Fulham Man City, there you go.
Saturday. Okay. So we've got Man City, Fulham.
Man City hit a bit of form, didn't they? They'll be playing in the Champions League, so there might be a little bit of tired legs. But Fulham, Leeds, there you go. He's gone Leeds Chelsea. So we're going to Leeds Chelsea. Leeds Chelsea, all right. We'll have it. I might have to get the old man to make a prediction.
Yep.
Be the Chelsea fan. Ooh, someone's got to be. Unfortunately, it's my old man. Oh, Savannah! Do you remember that?
Spurs.
If you don't remember it, it's on our 100 videos, I think. I don't know if that part's in there, but
yeah, it's right at the start.
There you go. Just watch the first 30 seconds.
We've got the spiel at the beginning.
Well, after the spiel. Just watch the whole video.
Right, so you've gone. What have you gone for? The West Ham United game.
2-2. Yep.
Sure. Okay, I am going to go for a 2-1 to United.
Okay.
Spurs versus Arsenal. Are you sticking with your
5-0? 5-0 Spurs.
Okay, I am going to put us.
I know you thought I was joking a little bit at, but 5-0 Spurs.
No, and initially that was what my prediction was going to be, but I'm going to put the faith back into the boys. I'm going to go form it out the window, and I'm going to go for a 1-2 to Arsenal with a lucky counter attack, and we're going to boss it. That's what I'm going to say. Gabriel Magalhaes, man of the match.
Always penis.
Leeds versus Chelsea.
Leeds versus Chelsea is an interesting one because Chelsea have scored the most goals in the Premier League. Leeds have an interest.
Most times.
Yes, they have hit the post most times. I think Patrick Bamford will have a point to prove going back to Stamford Bridge or playing against them. Pardon me. Sorry about that. I'm going to go 3-2 to Chelsea in that game. I think Leeds can be opened up. Chelsea are very, very quick. I think they'll nick it right at the end. Uber to finally score.
You're going 3-2 to Chelsea.
3-2 to Chelsea, yeah. Herbert said 3. Bamiyang to finally score, which he may well do.
Yep.
He may well do. It'd be nice to see him back in the scoring frame because it's like his celebrations, really.
We have missed him.
Missed a lot of things, mate. Mainly the goal.
Leeds versus Chelsea. I think I'm going to go for a 1-3. I like the sound of the 3. Leeds do have a tendency to hit the posts, as we have both seen over the last few games. They even hit the post a few times the other day. That I thought was a cracking game. I think it was Leeds Everton. Just listening to some of the commentary, it seemed pretty end to end, and there was a few chances for both teams where they could have gone on and nicked the game, but Leeds managed to get the winner on that one. But yes, I think Chelsea, they have massively improved their form. At the start of the season, we all had our predictions as about who could win the league this year, and I went for Chelsea because my other team would have been Man City, but I think you went for Man City initially, and just to be different, I went for Chelsea. And at the start of the season, I was like, "What the hell have I done?"
They've started to hit form, haven't they?
Chelsea, they have, yes, yeah, and I think the signings that they've made are starting to show what they're about. Mendy, I think, has made a massive difference in goal, and yes, I'm actually glad that I've stuck with my choice for them to possibly win the league. Anyone but Spurs.
Yeah. Well, the match is over. The predictions are made. We've talked a lot about football in all its aspects. What I would say is if you're not already, give us a little subscribe, won't you? We always like it. We appreciate it. We're on the roll recently. We're getting more subscribers every day. We're building up now slowly. We've got more content and better content coming. And also
finish challenge to come at the start of next year. Part 2, finish challenge part 2.
Yeah, I'll try not to. I'll try not to have nerve damage this time. So yeah. What I would say is if you want to get involved in anything, then let us know in the comment sections of our videos, on Twitter. They're both below us. We're on there every day. But I have been Ian. He has been over there. Has been
Mike.
We are FDT-TV. Thank you for joining us for this wonderful West Ham win. Have you got anything else to say?
Appreciate the comments. No, just thanks very much for the people that have tuned in. Really appreciate your comments and getting involved with us.
Yep.
Whilst we have been talking waffle, actually some of it was actually quite good, I think. And yeah, Thank you very much. Look forward to the next one.